All right, what's up guys? So I'm still in Oaxaca City in Mexico right now, and I just want to give you guys an update on how everything's been going, how I've been liking the Air 3, what kind of shots I've been doing, and honestly these past few days I've gotten some really awesome shots. Like obviously, since this isn't just a drone travel trip, like I'm here with my family, I'm here for a wedding, like I haven't had too much of a chance to fly, but I've really been trying to take advantage of the windows I have and also the locations and launching points I have. So that's why I've been really trying to take advantage of this rooftop here, because I just feel a lot safer. Like obviously I could take off from the city streets, from the parks, but there's just so many police and there's just so many people that aren't familiar with drones here. I just don't like to be the center of attention. So that's why I just been so enjoying launching from this rooftop, because first of all, I feel so safe, number one, but number two, I have really good connection. And I just want to tell you guys a story about how awesome the Air 3 has been doing in terms of long range. I'm able to really fly around the city. Like I can go really far, like see those mountains over there. I was able to go all the way over there just the other day, and I found this really cool ruin called Monte Alban, but it's about like 5 miles away. It's a 30-minute drive, and since I'm with my family, it's kind of hard to, just go out there because it's going to take like a few hours, But then it was funny because I was looking on the map again today on Google Maps, and I was like, oh, wait a second. Like considering how far I've already flown with the Air 3, I was like, I think I could find this thing on the map. What it really comes down to is, can I maintain that connection and battery life? So earlier today, I flew all the way to Monte Alban. I found it on the map and I just headed in that direction. And to my surprise, I legit found it, and it's right up there on top of the mountain. You can't see it from here, but I was able to get some really cool daytime shots of it. And I was actually really impressed with how close and low I was able to fly to it. Like I honestly got shots that I would have gotten if I legit went all the way over there, but I'm here at the house from a rooftop. So it's pretty insane. All right guys, so we're losing light here. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my ND8 because I plan on getting there. The sun's probably gonna be dipping right when I get there, and I also plan on getting some blue hour shots as well. So it's really important that I switch down to that ND8 right now. All right guys, so I know it looks super silly that I'm launching from this little cold plunge tub, but when you're going super long range, it actually makes a huge difference to stand at a better vantage point. It's really similar to flying FPV, because you just want to have the best line of sight and the least amount of obstructions possible, because where I'm going, it's really far. It's about 5 miles away, so any benefit and connection I can get is awesome, because once you lose connection, it's just kind of a hassle. Then you have to waste time, you have to wait till it returns home and you get connection again. So that's why when you're doing these really long range flights, it's just so important to just have the best connection you can, basically. So that's why I'm standing here, because I'm nice and tall and I have the best line of sight to the Air 3 over there. All right, so another tip I have for you guys when doing these sorts of long range missions is to save a waypoint. Since I am a tourist here, I don't know exactly the geography of this area. I'm a little bit familiar, obviously, since I've flown around this area so many times from this rooftop, but just to make sure I'm going the right way, I actually saved a waypoint of the Monte Alban before. So you just go over here, click waypoints, click this little paper icon here, and just go ahead and bring it up. And it's awesome because now I can click on the map here and I can just make sure that I'm going the right way. See, I can just make sure that my arrow is pointing over here to the 2. That's going to be my Monte Alban waypoint, and you can actually name it if you want. And as you're going super far here, it's really important to kind of gain your altitude. Try to go as high as you can, because we're going to be going pretty high over here, especially once we reach the mountain. It's going to be really important to be as high as we can so we can maintain that strong connection with the Air 3. All right guys, we are almost there. And right now it seems like we have perfect exposure. I mean, we're exposing for the highlights there, but it is a little bit dark. I do kind of wish I went no ND this time around actually, but we're just gonna have to work with it. I do think it does look pretty awesome though. It looks really contrasty, looks really blue hour-y, has a really good look here. Yeah, don't be afraid to push your ISO when you run into a situation like this, because the Air 3 and DJI drones surprisingly do pretty well in low light. I feel like once you start reaching like ISO 1600, 3200, 6400, that's when it gets really noisy, but anything below like 800 is actually pretty clean on the DJI drones, especially the Mavic series, the Air series. So yeah, don't be afraid to push your ISO, because obviously I chose that raw ND filter, but I think we are A-okay. But yeah, honestly, these sites are just amazing here. It's just so beautiful. And for me, it's just mind-blowing how close I can get without having to actually physically drive there. Like, my whole plan was to legit come here at sunrise, take a Uber, take a taxi. But honestly, that's so much work. So by being able to just hit it from my over here is perfect. Like, obviously, if I physically went to Monte Alban in person, I could definitely get more dynamic shots, you know. I could get a lot closer to the ruins, and I wouldn't have to worry so much about my connection, my battery. I could definitely be more relaxed and actually get even more shots because I don't have to make this huge 10-minute long flight to get there. But honestly, I think this is pretty awesome, being able to just launch from down here from the comfort of my own Airbnb. Don't have to worry about anyone watching me, and I'm able to just relax and get some really awesome shots here. All right, guys, so basically the key here is, you know, just focus on getting your shots, you know, kind of be mindful of where the dead zones are in your connection, you know. For example, don't try to go too low below the hillside, and just kind of try to maintain the best connection you can. For example, right now I have 1 bar. It's in red right now, but the picture is still great. The image is still looking good. There's no problems whatsoever. And I think that's a huge testament to how much better the new 04 is compared to 03. I honestly feel like the 03 system would be struggling right now. I might lose connection, might be skipping frames, all that bad stuff, you know, because once you start losing a certain connection, you can't even change your settings really. So that's really annoying. So that's why having good connection is so important when you're flying drones. See, if I stand up, I already get 1 more bar. When I sit down, I kind of go down to 1 bar, but I stand up, 2 bars. So that's why it's so awesome to get the best connection you can. Because every little bar matters right now, because I'm trying to go as low as I can to these ruins here without losing connection. So yeah, every bar you can get is great. To be honest, what amazes me is how low I can go. Like, considering how far I am, I mean, look at the home point from there. I would kind of anticipate I could only stay probably at like this altitude, you know, but since the connection's so good with the 04 system, I could legit go so low and get legit almost identical shots as if I was there in person. So that's a huge benefit of 04. I really like the 3x lens because you can legit get some depth of field right there. I mean, look at that shot. The background legit feels blurry. It feels really dynamic, really cinematic. Because honestly, in the end, that's what makes an image cinematic, because that's what we're used to. We're used to seeing shallow depths of field. We're used to seeing blurry backgrounds, you know? There's always kind of like a focal plane in movie shots. So that's why a shot like this looks cinematic, because we have so many layers. We have foreground, middle ground, background. We have good lighting. We have a good subject. And as you can see, the background is blurry there. So we got a really nice depth of field. It really adds that extra dimension and pop to your image. So this is awesome. See, just right there, I lost connection. And now you can see, like, it kind of gets annoying, you know, because now I have to wait. My whole shot is interrupted, you know. I have to waste time with my battery, and I'm losing light right now. So that's why you do not want to lose connection, because it just kind of stops your flow of work. But I don't think it's too bad, because I do want to come back, switch batteries real quick, and then I would like to take off my ND filter actually. So I think it's okay. And honestly, what's cool about these smart drones compared to an FPV is that I could literally just set my controller down here, and I'm gonna go downstairs, get my battery that's charging, and just get ready for the next flight. This thing is legit autonomous, and the new AR features are awesome. It's legit showing me, you know, my return to home point, so I know how much time I have. Yeah, I think that's a really cool feature of DJI drones. I mean, I could legit just go relax, go to the bathroom while the scene is coming home, so I don't waste any time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, go get my new battery, and let's land this thing and take off the ND filter. One of my favorite parts about drone flying is basically your gaffer is the weather, you know, like every different day has a different sunset, different lighting conditions, the clouds look different, the sky is a little bit different of a gradient. So that's why I love drone flying, because, you know, it's never the same. So that's why it's really important to always fly at different times of days, you know, maybe wake up for sunrise one day, catch the sunrise, then get the sunset over here. The next day, you know, maybe get some midday shots, you know, because everything has a different look, different emotion, different feeling. And I really enjoy filming at golden hour because there's just so much different variety. You know, earlier I got some more high key type shots, you know, it was the sun had just set, so it's not too dark. But then once I took off the ND filter and switched my batteries, and that second dust time session was awesome because I really got that nice glow on the ruins there from the sunset, and it just looked way more contrasty, way more dusk looking, and way more silhouette-y. So that's why it's so cool to fly at different times, because it just evokes a different emotion, a different type of feeling in your video shots. So that's really important to keep in mind. I'm going to really try to take advantage of my line of sight here. I can still see the drone up from this rooftop. That's why I love launching from roofs. I'm just doing a nice little flyover all these cool houses over here. And I want to head towards that mountainside over there. There's some really cool looking, like colorful houses over there. It looks kind of like Berkeley with all those houses on the hills, and I've never seen anything like it. Like there's colors like red, blue, yellow houses. I've never seen anything like that in the States. So I want to see how far I could fly with this thing and really try to get some more close-up shots with the drone over there. But yeah guys, overall, like having a drone like an Air 3, a Mavic 3, even a Mini is just so awesome, even sometimes compared to FPV. Because if I had an FPV right now, I mean theoretically I could fly long range all the way over there, but honestly it'd be kind of risky. I wouldn't really feel that comfortable doing it, and in addition, a 7-inch FPV long range is pretty hard to travel with. I only brought my 3.5-inch Cinewhoop, and it definitely could not make it all the way over there. So I just want to kind of point out to you guys like how valuable this kind of drone is for traveling. I mean, right now I'm just doing some nice simple half orbits and really utilizing this 3x lens to really focus on the architecture here. And that's what drone filmmaking is really about. It's just capturing textures, because obviously we're not filming people here. There's not too many subjects, you know, but you really just want to focus on just capturing the texture of the land, you know, the architecture, and just finding cool points of interest of what's around you. And that's really what it's all about, honestly. All right guys, so we just completed a really awesome rooftop flight, and right now I just want to take a step back and kind of give you guys some more thoughts and impressions about this Air 3. So as many of you guys know, I have a lot of drones. So whenever I'm going out traveling, or even in the Bay Area, whenever I'm going to a spot at sunset, I'm always having this internal dialogue of which drone should I bring, which drone is right for the job. Because obviously me, I have the Mavic 3 Pro, I have the Mavic 3 Original, I have a 7-inch long-range FPV, I have a 3.5-inch Cinewhoop, and now I have the Air 3. And all these drones serve different purposes, so I'm always trying to figure out which drone is right for the job, because I don't like to overpack, because a lot of the times I'm traveling, I'm hiking with a backpack, so I always want to bring the least amount of gear as possible. And honestly, like, I think the Air 3 is a really, really solid drone, because obviously something like this, you can't get the same shots as an FPV. Like FPV shots, they're way more dynamic, you know, You can hit more gaps, you can fly really close to mountainsides, you can dive cliffs. You can just get this really cool feel to it. It's really exciting, really dynamic. Some of my favorite shots so far have been from FPV, honestly, because I'm an FPV pilot at heart, and I love these drones as well, because although I could be flying FPV here, like when you're traveling especially, having a drone like this is just so clutch, because honestly what it comes down to is this thing is just a super reliable aerial camera platform, and you can go really far with this thing. I mean, just now I flew all the way to that mountainside over there. I don't even know how far that is. I mean, it would probably take like maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes, you know, with traffic. I mean, that's pretty far, but with this drone, like, it does it with ease. I could have gone even farther. And after this, I'm probably gonna go to that mountain over there, which is probably double, maybe even triple the distance, because the transmission system on this is just so advanced, it's so sophisticated, it's so awesome. And in addition, the battery life is amazing as well. When you have those two combinations, amazing battery life and great transmission, I mean, you just can't go wrong. I mean, it's just such a great travel drone, and honestly, I'm really happy I decided to go with this instead of the Mavic 3, obviously because it's lighter, but honestly, I'm really enjoying that 3X lens as well. I really like having that option to switch to 3X to really just show off the detail and texture of the area, and then having the comfort to switch back to that nice wide angle that we're all used to. Good for low light, really nice establishing shots. So overall, this thing is freaking awesome. Highly recommend. And all right, what's up guys? So right now we're in this really awesome park in the heart of Mexico City, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful parks I've ever seen. Right now we're biking through it, and it's just so lush. Like, it's legit like a jungle in here. It's like a rainforest. There's so many trees here, and the best part is that it's super low-key here, honestly. Like, there's a few popos at the entrance and stuff, but like in terms of the middle of the park, there's not that many people, and honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, I feel really confident to fly here. I don't feel scared at all, and actually in about a few seconds I'm about to go ahead and just launch the Air 3 and try to get some shots of this beautiful lush area. So let's do it.
Approach the edge of altitude. Take off.
Alright guys, so I just did basically my second flight over here in Mexico City in this really awesome, huge, very vast jungle type park. And I have a few takeaways. So first of all, like, I think having a platform like a Mavic, whether it's an Air, a Mavic 3, or even a Mini 3 Pro, is like, it's very valuable when you're traveling, because with FPV, like, obviously you can get more dynamic shots and stuff, but with FPV, unless you're in like a really vast nature area, you definitely always want to be as close as you can to the point of interest you're filming. And since I'm a tourist here, I want to be super low-key here. I want to be launching in more low-key spots. So that's why the Air 3 is so awesome, because I was able to launch right over here, which is a super low-key park area. And from here, I was able to fly over and film this really awesome, like, historical building. I wouldn't really be comfortable flying closer to that building, like launching from over there, I mean, because there's just so many police over there and there's so many people in general. Like, I would definitely stick out like a sore thumb if I launched from over there, especially flying FPV. But having the Air 3 is just so awesome, because yeah, I'm able to launch into super low key, but from here I'm able to film other points of interest. I have a lot of options, and honestly, the OcuSync 4 system is doing so well. Initially, when I first got it, I didn't think it was that big of a difference, and a lot of people on YouTube say it's not that big of a difference, but since I fly the Mavic 3 so much, coming to the Air 3 on the new Oaxaca 4 system, like I can say with confidence that the transmission is just so much better. Like if I was flying the Mavic 3 right now, even with the RC Pro, I'm pretty confident I would have lost connection and the drone would have been forced into return to home. But throughout that whole flight, no matter how far I was flying, no matter how much penetration there was, no matter how low the signal was, I was still able to maintain a nice, solid, strong signal. Not once did my return to home get triggered. I was able to continue flying, continue getting shots, and that's really good for your peace of mind. When you're always losing connection, having to go into return to home, although it is reliable, it just kind of takes you out of the zone and it makes you kind of anxious, and it really kind of puts you out of that creative mindset. So by having a strong signal, like it's legit game changing. So that was really awesome. And another tip I have for you guys is when you're flying in kind of like a new and kind of like risky environment, is you always want to be most mindful when you're taking off and also landing, because that's the most high risk times, because that's the times when someone can spot you, that's the times when you can crash. So always be mindful, always take a look around before you take off. And same thing when you land as well, always take a look around, make sure that there's no one around watching you and that you land properly without crashing, because like I said, those are going to be the most risky times. But in conclusion, like obviously I probably could get more awesome FPV shots if I had my Cinewhoop right now, but it's a different look, because if I had my Cinewhoop, obviously it'd be super sick. I'd be weaving through all the trees here. It's like a jungle and stuff, but honestly it's super loud, super attention grabbing. I might do it later in the day, but I'm not sure honestly, but I'm pretty happy with the shots I got with the Air 3 so far. So that was really awesome. Let's go to the next spot. All right guys, so overall I've been really impressed with the Air 3 and also the shots I've been getting. I mean, it's just such an enjoyable drone to fly. It's so reliable and it's just so much fun to fly, especially when you're kind of in an unfamiliar environment. And honestly, I'm really impressed with all the smart features it comes with. Like as an FPV pilot, I used to think, oh, I didn't really care about all that stuff, I just like to fly, but the more I use this, especially for traveling and just getting awesome shots, like all the smart features really come in handy. And I really like how the 3x lens now supports night mode. That's really awesome, because now I could still shoot in low light conditions with that really cool 70mm equivalent telephoto lens while still maintaining that clean noise floor. So that's really awesome about the Air 3, and I think that's one of the main reasons why it's so much better than the Mavic 3. If I had the regular Mavic 3, I wouldn't have access to that 3x night mode lens. Sure, the Mavic 3 has a bigger 4/3 sensor, arguably it has better noise performance, but I really am willing to take that sacrifice in sensor size by having two lenses and a really nice travel size. So that's why the Air 3 has been absolutely amazing on this trip. And honestly, I just can't wait to more trips I could do with this. Like right now I'm just on a family trip, with my family, and seeing the shots I can get casually with this is awesome. Like now imagine I go traveling by myself or with a friend and really plan out drone locations and make that my priority. Like I can't even imagine the type of shots I can get with this thing. Like it's just truly mind-blowing. So overall, really successful long range flight today. Hope you guys learned something from these. So